I want to talk about reclaiming yoga from the performers, the influencers, the perfect poses, and the glamorized aesthetics. Yoga has been turned into something superficial, surface without depth, all about how it looks and little else, like so much in our modern world. Yoga is everywhere. It's a global phenomenon. You see it on Instagram, in fitness studios, and even in so-called corporate wellness programs. But much of what we see is a performance, a highlight reel of extreme flexibility, exotic locations, and expensive activewear. These images, while beautiful, often make yoga feel unattainable and far removed from what it is meant to be. Somewhere along the way, we've started to lose what yoga truly is. It's become another thing to perfect, another way to show off, another measure of our worth through external standards. But that's not yoga. Yoga isn't about fitness or achieving the perfect body. It isn't about posting your most challenging poses or meeting some ideal of strength or flexibility. Yoga is about coming home to yourself. It's about connecting with your breath, your body, your mind, and with something much bigger. In a world that constantly pulls us outward, yoga invites us to turn inward. It's a chance to quiet the noise and discover who we are beneath the layers of expectations and performance. Unfortunately, our culture has made yoga less about connection and more about competition. But yoga was never meant to be about competition. It's not gymnastics with Sanskrit names attached. Don't get me wrong. There is nothing wrong with asanas or enjoying the physical practice. I value the physical practice deeply. But when the focus shifts solely to how yoga looks rather than how it feels, we lose something essential. Here's the issue. When yoga becomes performative, it alienates people. People who think, I'm not flexible enough, or I don't look like that, and they don't even try. Worse, people push their bodies beyond the limits to achieve a pose for appearance's sake, risking injury and losing the essence of the practice. Yoga is about finding peace and stillness. It's a practice designed to help us overcome suffering. In yoga philosophy, the kleshas are 5 root causes of suffering. They are obstacles that yoga helps us to navigate. But here's the irony. Modern yoga, as it's often practiced and portrayed today, sometimes reinforces the very suffering it's meant to transcend. Let's just briefly explore why and how we can bring yoga back to its true purpose. The kleshas, 5 in number, are outlined in the Yoga Sutras as number one, ignorance about the nature of reality. Number two, egoism or over-identification with the self or body. Number three, attachment to pleasure. Number four, aversion to discomfort. And number five, fear of death or change. Yoga is a system designed to help us confront and transcend these afflictions, leading us to a place of peace and freedom. Yet, the way yoga is marketed and practiced today often does the opposite. Modern yoga often emphasizes appearance over awareness, losing sight of yoga's deeper purpose, self-awareness and liberation. And this misunderstanding excludes those who might benefit the most from its mental and spiritual aspects. The commercialized yoga world encourages performance and comparison, inflating the ego through external validation like likes and followers. This fosters judgment and attachment rather than dissolving ego. Many people become attached to the physical practice or the ascetic ideal of a yoga body. Consumerism around yoga, expensive gear, retreats, classes, feeds material attachment instead of promoting contentment. In focusing on what looks good, modern yoga often avoids the discomfort of deeper work, such as sitting with challenging emotions or facing personal growth. And by glorifying youth and vitality, modern yoga can deepen fears of aging or change, reinforcing attachment to physical form over the understanding that the true self lies beyond the body. This misalignment leads to suffering, insecurity, disconnection, and even shame when we feel like we don't measure up to the ideal image of a yogi. So, how do we reclaim yoga as a path of transformation rather than performance? By remembering its essence. Yoga isn't about poses alone. The physical postures, or asanas, are just one part of an eightfold path, a system that includes how we interact with the world, care for ourselves, breathe, and meditate. Yoga can be translated as union. It unites body, mind, and spirit, helping us to transcend the ego, quiet the mind, and connect with something greater, whether that's your true self, the universe, or a higher power. When we approach yoga with awareness, we reconnect with our bodies meaningfully. We start to heal disconnection and find steadiness. By embodying yogic principles on and off the mat, we can overcome the kleshas and find peace. Yoga is about practicing self-compassion instead of comparison. Being present with discomfort rather than avoiding it. Letting go of attachment to outcomes or appearances. And finding strength in stillness and ease in effort. Let's strip yoga of its facade. It's not a performance, it's a journey. Your yoga practice doesn't need to be Instagram worthy. It doesn't even have to involve poses. It might be a few mindful breaths, a moment of stillness, or paying attention to how you move throughout your day. Yoga is yours, your practice, your journey, as unique as you are. Let's embrace yoga as the powerful, healing practice it is meant to be. Here's my challenge for you. Let's let go of the pressure to perform. Let's forget how yoga looks and focus on how it feels. Take a moment today to breathe, move, or pause, and know that you're practicing yoga in its truest form. Let's reclaim yoga together. If this resonates with you, please share your thoughts in the comments. I would love to know, what does yoga mean to you? How can we as a community bring it back to its essence? Let's start a conversation and a movement together.